Today we are diving deep into the world of data management and analytics with Microsoft Fabric's Dataflow Gen2. This transformative step in data flows, and we are here to guide you through it. So let's unlock the power of Dataflow Gen2 together and see the evolution compared to Dataflow Gen1. Hello everyone and welcome to DevScope's channel. Dataflow Gen2 is the newest wave of data flows within Microsoft Fabric. It introduces a range of fresh features and enhancements such as shorter authoring flow, autosave, background publishing, improved monitoring, refresh history, and high-scale compute. It's designed to boost both user experience and functionality. Now let's break down its benefits. For simply authoring flow, Dataflow Gen2 has streamlined the process of creating data flows. It reduces the number of steps involved, making it more efficient and user-friendly. This means you can focus more on the data and less on the process. For the autosave and background publishing, have you ever lost your work because you forgot to hit save? With Gen2, that's a thing of the past. Every modification you make to a data flow is automatically saved to the cloud. You can leave your work at any moment, and when you return, you can pick right where you left off. This feature is a real game changer in terms of productivity and convenience. For improved monitoring and refresh history, keeping track of data flow updates is crucial in data management. Dataflow Gen2 has revolutionized this aspect with monitoring up and an improved refresh history feature. These enhancements provide a clear, comprehensive view of data flows history, making it easier to track changes and updates. For high-scale compute, Dataflow Gen2 comes with an upgraded compute engine. This means it's more powerful and faster, particularly in transforming referenced queries and retrieving data scenarios. This enhancement boosts the performance, making your data management and analytics process more efficient. About licensing and transitioning, Dataflow Gen2 operates exclusively with Fabric capacity, supporting other workloads such as a lakehouse or a warehouse. Now come with me to my Fabric workspace where I will show you how you can create a data flow, build your pipeline, and how to migrate your Dataflow Gen1 to Gen2. What I have here right now is a lakehouse that I will use to storage the content that I will get from my data flow. I also have a Dataflow Gen1 where I will show you how you can migrate it to a Dataflow Gen2. So the first thing that you need to do is create a new data flow. You have two ways to do this. You can, in your workspace, click New, and you will have the option right here to create a Dataflow Gen2. Or if you come right here to this icon, if you click, you will see a lot of options on Power BI, Data Factory, and Synapse. And what you will click Data Factory, and you will have the option to create a Dataflow Gen2. So I will click here. It will open me a window where I can start to get data and transforming the data. So as you can see, this is very similar to Dataflow Gen1. You have the Power Query menu. If you are a Power BI user, you will get used to data flows really fast. You basically use the same functionalities that Power Query already uses. So first thing that we need to do, I will get new data. I will get data from Azure SQL database. So if you click Get Data, I will click More, and you'll get a lot of options to bring data from. Remember, these data connections, these data sources that you can create come over from Dataflow Gen1. So all the work that was made in Gen1 was brought for Gen2. So I will search here for Azure SQL. So I will connect to my Azure SQL database. I will build a new connection and I will select a few tables just to see how you can manage data here in Dataflows. I will search for a transaction table, and I will search for a product table. I will hit create, and in an instance my data is on my Dataflow. As you can see, all the menus are from Power Query. You have the table data window here. You have the top bar with your M code that you can edit yourself. You can see all the data, a preview of the data that you have. You can see your schema, all the keys, everything you have access to it, and you can check your query settings, all the steps involved in your data flow. You can see your queries that you are using, and at the top you have all the functionalities of data transformation that you already have in Power Query and Dataflow Gen1. So what we're gonna do, we just give some transformations here, a little thing just to show you how you can do it. I'm gonna keep from the product table, I'm just gonna keep a few columns. Okay, I'm gonna keep product ID, name, product number, and that's it. I'm gonna remove other columns, and I will do the same thing for transaction. I will just keep transaction ID, product ID, so I can create relations in the model view in Lakehouse, reference order, transaction date, and quantity. And I will do the same thing. So now I already have my data. So what you can do now, you can publish your data flow, you can save it to get it back to it later. By that, you can just come here into the publish button, and you'll see these two options, publish now and publish later. Publish later, basically you will not publish this data flow to your workspace, and you can get back to it when you need, just to finish your development. But first thing, before we publish this data flow, I will go and add a new data destination. And this is the new thing for Dataflow Gen2. If you see at the top, you'll see an icon of Add Data Destination. And if you click it, you will see 4 options available. And basically, if you attribute a data destination to each of the data flows that I've created, your data will be stored in a storage artifact. Basically, you have 4 options available. You have Azure SQL Database, Lakehouse, Data Explorer, and Warehouse. So this is the options that are available now. In the future, probably it will be more. So for this example, I will add a destination for a Lakehouse. I will create a new Lakehouse connection to the Lakehouse that I have already created in my workspace. Here I have. I will click in my Lakehouse, and I will give it a name to my table. My table will be transaction history. I will hit next. Now I have 2 options here. I can choose to replace any table with this name in the source, okay, in my Lakehouse. By that, I'm doing a full import. Or if I'm having, I have a data flow to just extract a few portion of the data, I will choose append to create an incremental load to my lakehouse. In this case, I will go for replace, and I can do some column mapping here if I need to. I'm not gonna do anything here, so I'm just gonna save settings, and I will give a destination or an output to my table. As you can see, now you can see the lakehouse icon in your Dataflow output. I will need to do this for every table that I have in my Dataflow, so I did it for the transaction history, and I will do it for the product table. Add a new output, create a new connection, same process. Get to my workspace, click my lakehouse. I'm gonna do a replace here, same thing, and I save. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna erase this table name, this one too. Okay. So I will hit publish, and automatically when I publish my Dataflow, I will create the Dataflow in my workspace. As you can see, now is publishing. Okay, and basically after the Dataflow is published, I will need to refresh it so I can start to move the data from my Azure SQL database to the lakehouse. So my Dataflow is published, is refreshed, and I can see how the refresh was going. So I can see that my refresh was succeeded, and in Dataflow Gen2 I have more detail over it. If I click in my start date time, I will have the access, and I will see some detail on all the requests, sessions ID, all the activities that were run in Dataflow, and all the tables that I generated. So you have all this detail here that you can have access in Dataflow Gen2. So now what you're going to see is I move data from Azure SQL to my lakehouse. So I will open the lakehouse that I have already created, and I will see that I have two new tables here. My product table and my transaction history table. What you can do now is just simply switch to the SQL endpoint, go to the model view, create your model quick and easy, and I can generate a quick Power BI report with Direct Lake over this dataset. I click New Report, a new window is open, and I can slide all the variables that I want and go and see all the quantity of my transactions over my products. Okay, I can hit save and save my report. If you need to schedule your data flow, you just come here to three dots, settings, hit refresh, and you can configure your refresh schedule. Transitioning from Dataflow Gen1 to Gen2 is a breeze. You can use the export template feature or simply copy and paste existing Dataflow Gen1 queries. It's that simple, and I will show you how to do it. So what I'm going to show you now is that how you can transaction from Dataflow Gen1 and go to Gen2. It's very easy. First example, I will show you how you can export the template of your Dataflow and import in a new Dataflow Gen2 model. So opening my Dataflow Gen1 that I have here, I will add my table, I will go and hit edit table. And over here at the top I have this option, export template. If you click it, you will export all the templates, all the code that you have made on this Power Query editor. I will call it Dataflow Gen1 template. I will hit OK, export this template. So now I will create a new Dataflow Gen2 and I will import this template. So when I create a new Dataflow Gen2, I have the option here to import a Power Query template. If I click it, I will search for my template, open it, and I will see the same data flow that I have in my Dataflow Gen1. The only thing that probably you will need to do is refresh your credentials. And it's done. You can publish and use it for future developments. The other way you can do it is just copy the query from your Dataflow Gen1 and paste it in your Dataflow Gen2. Quick and easy, and you got the same result. Dataflow Gen2 is a solid solution that brings advanced features and an improved user interface. Its seamless integration with data pipelines and high-scale computing abilities contribute to efficient data management and analytic process. So why wait? Make the switch to Dataflow Gen2 today and take your data management to the next level. And as always, if you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more data insights. Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.